Hello everyone, my name is Jen and happy birthday to me. Yes, I am wearing a crown. One of those ridiculously beautiful but cheaply made crowns that you see on Instagram. I really wanted to buy myself a birthday crown and I did, and it's just as cheap as I thought it would be, but it's beautiful looking. It looks pretty, and I basically bought it so that I could film some birthday things. So we're gonna wear it for this, and we're doing it. So I decided that for my birthday video this year, I wanted to do a birthday book tag because I saw my friend Tiffany from Tiff Talks Pages do this. Her birthday is just a week and a half, 2 weeks before mine is. And I guess she originally got this from Antonia, who is always booked. So I'll have both of them linked down below, but this is just 7 questions about some birthday related prompts, and then I'll share some books that are my favorites, and we'll hope this crown stays on my head. So hopefully this is just a fun, quick video to go over some of those things. So the first prompt is birthday cake. A book with a plot that seems cliche, but you loved it anyway. And for me, I stuck with the books that I had. Well, I went whichever. We'll just say it. So the book that I picked for this one, I picked a book that has a Beauty and the Beast retelling because I feel like that is the most done trope across pretty much every subgenre of romance that I've read. You see it in mafia, you can even see it in contemporary, I've seen it in historical and in fantasy books. And so when it's done without a care, it can just be whatever, we've seen it before. The point is, the man is a grumpy, he's either ugly on the inside or the outside, and the beauty, who's either beautiful on the outside or the inside, wins him over. And I love it, but it can be cliche because it's done, it's a trope, that's what tropes are, is usually cliche. But at the beginning of this year, I read a Beauty and the Beast reimagined retelling that not only stuck very close to the original French myth, or if it really, wherever the original is, but it had such a strong female and just such a beautiful cast of characters that it made the story feel fresh and new to me. And I know not a lot of people agree, but this is my birthday tag, and I picked Entreat Me by Grace Draven, which of course is shiny, so I have to be careful how I show it. But this book is about our heroine, whose name is Levain, and her sister is actually being courted by this man named Gavin, and Levain is very sus about this. She's a widow, she's a sharp lady, she is bold and brash, and when her sister gets whisked away by this Gavin to the family's castle, Levain is like, nah, you're not taking my sister without a ring on her finger and ruining her, and so she chases after them. And she ends up at this enchanted palace where Gavin and his father, where's his name? What's his name? Ballard, who is this beastly man. Him and his son are actually both cursed, and their castle is cursed, and they live in kind of this pocket realm where time is slowed down, and they're trying to break this curse. And Gavin is told that true love can do that, and so he honestly is trying to fall in love with this younger sister, and she really cares for him too. And Levain agrees that, okay, we will stay through the winter. I'm going to keep an eye on you. Make sure you're not messing around. And while I'm here, I think I'm going to fall for Ballard. Which she doesn't mean to do. But again, she's a very sexually free woman. She's not shamed by her desires. And when Ballard shows an interest in her, she sees his beastly outside, but she's not scared of it. And she's not intimidated by him. And she finds him very attractive and in his own ways. And they have this beautiful love between the two of them. And this book just really spoke to me. It was a 6-star read for me, and it just did the Beauty and the Beast in one of the most direct kind of retellings, but also it just made the story so much richer and deeper, and I love the character so much. So this one definitely, the plot could have been cliche, but I adored it. Question number 2, party guests. Your most anticipated book release for this year. So of course I picked 3 of these because I did. one of which has already come out. This was one of my most anticipated books this year. House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. Book 2 in the Crescent City series, which is the culmination, well, the beginning of a culmination of so much, and it actually inspired me to, we're going to be doing an SJM along that I have kind of set up with some of my friends, which is starting in April, and I'm very excited. But I was so excited to read this book, and it was fantastic. 2 other highly anticipated books, one of which I am currently reading right now, and that is The Savage by Sophie Lark, and it should actually be out when you're watching this video, because I'm going to put this video up on my birthday, which this book comes out on the 16th. I told Sophie, I was like, you're writing me a birthday present. How sweet of you. And we're going to pretend that that's what it was. So this is book 5 in her Kingmaker series. It's also a little bit of like, not a sequel, but like a book after that, because the Kingmaker series is definitely a culmination of all of her other previous books. There's very much a central plot that runs through the first 4 Kingmaker books, but Sophie's husband and a lot of her fans, we really wanted a book about Sabrina and Audric, who are children of other characters in her series, and highly anticipated. And I'm 40% into this book, and I have to say I was not wrong to highly anticipate. And then another one I want to mention, which I have been anticipating for years, which is why it's highly anticipated, is I think this one is, it's something of stone, of steel, and something. I don't know. I'll put up the picture. I can't even remember the name. But it's the 3rd book in The Gathering of Dragons by Milla Vane. This is supposed to like wrap up her first story arc. She does plan for there to be 6 books in this series, but this 3rd one has taken her a long time. There was COVID issues. She had health issues. She had to rewrite the story a couple of times, which I'm okay with because I trust her so much after A Heart of Blood and Ashes, which is one of my favorite books ever. But I am highly anticipating this book, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why it's taking so long, is she knows how highly anticipated said book is. So, number 3. Birthday presents. A book that surprised you with how much you loved it. And I have 2 books for this one. The first one I don't think will be a surprise because I talk about it constantly, especially when I first read it. And that's The Takeover by T.L. Swan. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and it surprised me because it has tropes that I don't particularly like. It has a single mom with 3 older children, not like old, but the oldest is 18, then she has a teenager, and then she has like a younger son, and she's only been widowed for a few years. She loved her husband deeply. There was nothing wrong with him. He wasn't abusive. He wasn't a cheater. None of those things. He was a wonderful man who she loved dearly, and he died and left her his business. And she's been trying to keep the business going until her children are old enough to take it over. But Tristan Miles of the Miles family, he wants to take over her business because he sees that it's struggling, and he doesn't go about it in the nicest way. And so, Claire tells him that he can fuck right off with that. And he is immediately like won over by her sauciness. And he just wants her so much. And they end up having this one night stand situation. And she's like, this is all this is going to be because I got to go back to my life. I got to go back to my kids. And I don't have time for this sexy playboy who wants me, who's younger than me and is not, I don't want this. And Tristan's not ready to let it go. Not even once he meets her children, one of whom is literally a devil child. There's so much about this that I wouldn't like. I don't usually like reading kids in books, or I used to think that. That's the thing. I've changed my mind quite a bit, and a lot of it was due to this book. This book warms my heart. This book makes me smile. It makes me so happy, and I did not expect to love this book. It was just another T.L. Swan where I was like, I know I'm going to have a good time, because her books are very full of drama. They're like, wild, and this one just blew my socks off. It's amazing. And then the other one, which I have a copy of, but I didn't grab it, so I'll just show it, and that's Soul Eater by Lily Mayne. This is a monster romance. And I've talked about this one a ton recently, so I won't go into it, but it's like post-apocalyptic. One hero is a soldier. He's used as bait to try to trap the Soul Eater, who is seen as this like indiscriminate murderer of people. May or may not be true. And they end up road tripping together across the post-apocalyptic United States and falling in love. And I gave this book 6 stars. I adored it. I read the whole series in like a week. It just worked for me. Number 4, A Happy Birthday Song, a book that certainly deserved all the hype that it got. So this one, I could say that about a ton, but I think the one I want to go with is Monroe by Cressley Cole, because this book, we've been waiting for it for a very long time. There were a lot of things that happened in Cressley Cole's life. She's now self-publishing under Valkyrie Press. She had family issues, she had publishing issues, she had just all of these things. So this book took a very long time to come out. And I think that a lot of us were afraid, like, is this going to hold up to the kind of writing that she's done in the past? Like, are we going to be able to love it the way that we've loved so many other books in the Immortals After Dark series? And the answer is yes. The answer was yes. She started right at the same level of skill as she's always been at. I adored Monroe. I adored Ren. I loved every second of this book. I didn't want it to be over. And for me, this book completely lived up to the hype. For me, the whole series really lives up to the hype. Like, there's some books that aren't going to work for everybody, but the series as a whole and the things that Cressley's doing with it, it lives up to the hype for me. And it's precious. It's precious. Next, we have Happy Music, a book with some very beautiful and truly memorable quotes. So this one was a bit of a cheat for me because I just reread this book and I have a bunch of the quotes like already here, and I'll see if I can find one of my favorites to share. But I'm going to pick Carnal Urges by J.T. Geisinger. This was my favorite book that I read last year. I talk about it in pretty much every video that I do. And this just has these two alphas who've fallen in love with each other. And literally I reread this just this last week to finish my annotations and add in more things. So literally I have so many highlights. Can't even turn the pages in this book because everything out of their damn mouths is just amazing. Let's see if I can find one. That one's very dirty. Let me see if I can find one that's not. We probably can't. They're all very naughty ones. Wee. Here's one. I want to hear it. I need to hear it. You said you were intoxicated, but I'm beyond that. I'm addicted. If you don't give me another fix, I'll go mad. That is the hero begging for compliments. It's beautiful. Also, the relationship between the women in this, who they don't get to be together a lot in here, but the friendships in this book, there's some very powerful quotes with that there. So I'm lame. I said there's beautiful quotes, but I'm not going to read them all. I'm not going to take the time to pick them out, but I have 100 in this book alone, and they hit me hard every time. Maybe I'll pop up some from my highlights. We'll see. Either way, this is the one that I'm picking for beautiful quotes because they just have to be beautiful to me. That's a good enough reason. Number 6, Getting Older, a book that you read a long time ago, but you think you would appreciate more if you read it as a mature reader. So this I had to think about, but I decided to go with one of my young favorites, a book that I loved in middle school, because I still own the copy that I got all those years. And I just wonder what I would feel about it. Because, yeah, I wonder what I would feel about it. So that's The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle by Avi. So I read this book, I think in 6th grade for the very first time, because it has one of the most powerful opening lines. So funny enough how I wouldn't read a bunch of quotes, but here's the opening line. Not every 13-year-old girl is accused of murder, brought to trial, and found guilty. but I was just such a girl, and my story is worth retelling, even if it happened years ago. So yeah, this book, I remember we studied it when we were talking about like a creative writing unit, and this was one of me and my friends' like favorite books when we were young. Fierce female characters. Do I now, as a 29-year-old, think that a 13-year-old could do the things that happened in this book? No, but that's okay. It's fine. And then the last question, Sweet Birthday Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period of your life. This one is all too easy, and I get to show off my pretty new copy of this book. That's going to be the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. I recently was gifted this 6th edition copy of Diana Gabaldon with the step back and everything. It's gorgeous. I've been reading Outlander for about 6 years now, and I've loved every minute of it. But it was particularly my reread, which I started in 2019 and finished in 2020 during the lockdown, where being able to get lost in time, pun intended, with the Frasers and Mackenzies and with the words that Diana has written truly helped save my sanity. Doing the reviews of these books and being able to talk with my viewers and review the show back then, like, really helped me get through a very dark time for me. I mean, I know it was a dark time for a lot of people, but I was a very social person, and my life has changed so much since then. The things that I do and the people that I spend time with, that has like shifted irrevocably. But something that made it just a little bit easier was spending time in this world with these characters. So there you go. So there you go. There was the happy birthday book tag, or the birthday book tag. And I'm so glad Tiffany did this one, because I was like, I haven't done a tag in forever. And this was just a fun way to reminisce about some of my favorite things. So if your birthday's coming up soon, make sure you check out this tag. I think it would be cool if we had one, for all the months if we did it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.